morning and welcome back to Planner Craft. Sorry for the slight delay starting this morning. I'm Natalie and I'm going to be taking you through a Easter project. So first of all, just to say, we have Tracy working as mod and also as cameraman today, so we will see how we go. So I've pulled out some nice pastel colours of card so that we can do a nice Easter project. And if you want to create this file, you can also get it from design bundles, so you can always create along with me after. So before I go too far, I'm just going to pop up Restream so I can see everybody's just a little easier. There we go. So hi Deb, hi Linda, hi Jill, hi Tracy. Oh, yeah, I had to do a little bit of a tweak on the how we streamed today, unfortunately, because it refused to use the event. Useful. Morning Mum, hi June, and hi Delsey. And morning Carol. So, I've loaded my design onto my USB. So if I go to close cam, there we go. Let's wake up the Scan and Cut because it's got board waiting for me. And this file, it comes in with all the pieces already arranged on the mat, which is great if you want to cut it from a 12 by 12 piece of white card and then ink. But if you want to do it from lots of different pieces of card, like I'm going to do here, you're going to want to work with it one piece at a time. And yes Mum, you can watch this one because this isn't the one I'm going to make you, so okay, so I'm going to start off with my base files, and at the moment right down the bottom you can see that we have our little base. Okay, so I'm going to cut that from a bit of lilac card. But that means that we've got everything else on that page to go away. So we're going to go into Edit, Multi-Select, make your life a bit easier, and we can go tap, tap, tap. Oh, not that one, that one, that one, and that one. Go OK, and we can delete. Okay, so at this point there's still that data on your USB, so don't think you're deleting it permanently. And our card is actually single-sided, so what I'm going to see in a minute is if we can actually get 2 copies of this file so that we can go around the inside too. Okay, so just note Tracy that at the moment I can't see chat because it doesn't come through very high resolution. So if there's any questions or anything I won't see, so just pop them up on Restream when you're ready. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my mat and we can rip off the protective sheet. Like so. And let's go. There we go. It's going to behave today. Had to restart my iPad because even that was throwing a hissy fit. So I'm going to line this up into the top corner of my mat and carefully place that down. So for me it's a brand new mat, so I'm not going to be rubbing anything too hard because we don't want to make it stick like super glue. And I'm going to load in my mat. Okay, so I'm going to go OK. I'm going to do a background scan. So if I go back to close cam. Oh, you're moving things there, Tracy. Do you want to move that back again? bit more. Okay, so I'm just going to pop my screen up a bit more. So yesterday I was scanning dark things, so I wanted it on the lighter one. Today I'm scanning something light, so I want the darker option. Go OK, and we can see our piece of card. A little bit more, Tracy. Okay, so I'm going to slide that up there. So you can see we should have plenty of room for another copy. So I'm going to go to Edit, Object Edit, Duplicate, and I want a second copy. OK. And I want to rotate that, so make sure it's in the middle, so it's got plenty of room to manoeuvre. And I want it to go once to 90 and again to 180. Then we can move that on our card so that we can make it fit. Yeah, the delay is slightly longer today because the computer's playing up. So we'll go OK. And that looks very fuzzy on my screen. Okay, OK. And OK again. So bear in mind that because we've brought that in as FCM at the moment, it's going to all cut, which is fine. But I will probably end up doing a little bit of reinforcement in the score lines. So I'm going to go OK. I'm going to cut. And I'm going to use, I'm going to go for my vinyl blade today just because it is thinner card. I could probably use the standard one, but I'll go for the vinyl. So back up to -5 and let's go for it. So today there is a minute's silence at 12 o'clock. So what I'm aiming to do is finish before then. So anything that we have left over I will continue with tomorrow. Let me just pop up the screen so I can see everybody's chatter. Okay, so the file is on Design Bundles. There is actually a link on the group as well already. So if you do scroll back down, then it will be there. I will try and bring it back up to the top though, so it's nice and easy for you to all find. And I'll also be popping up a photograph of the finished project when it gets there. And it's obviously just going to be one of those days today for the IT misbehaving. Okay. hopefully by the time that Tracy's finished typing, she'll have heard me actually say. So the file is from Design Bundles, and it was a freebie. It may have gone back up in between the time that I downloaded it and when we've had a chance to show it on the stream. So Tracy, if you want to pop any questions in the notes tab that you've got open, that makes it nice and easy for me to see them rather than looking at the restream one. So let me go to overhead for a moment. If I bring that up so you can just see what it's doing. There we go. Saves you watching a boring countdown. Okay, so there's our cut foam. So again, I'm going to use my metal spatula just to go around the edges so that I can lift that up. Now you want to go careful when you do this next bit to make sure that everything is cut properly. There we go. So I will keep the offcuts for that piece to one side in case I want to use that for any decorative elements. So just because a file is created a certain way doesn't mean you have to stick to it. If you want to add an additional sentiment or things, you can do. Come on. There we go. So there's our first piece. Now this one, I'm not too bothered about that first little strip, but this back bit I'm a bit more worried about. There we go. Okay, so those are our two main bits. Put those to one side and we can work on the next section. Now if at this point you've got little stray bits of paper, then just quickly grab a lint roller. Going to tear off so that we've got a nice fresh piece to work with. Now, given that this is a fresh mat with a fresh lint roller, do go careful because it likes to grab onto it. So you kind of want to work on the edge of your lint roller and just pick up those bits that you can see clearly on your mat. There we go. There's a few bits up there too. I think I've got most of those now. There we go. And it's just because the score lines are actually outlined rather than being a straight score line. So at this point, I'm going to go back up close. I'm going to go OK. Now I'm going to go home and reset and retrieve that data back off that USB because we want those missing pieces. Okay, so down to our Easter 3D scene. And that's just what I've called the folder. So you could call it anything you like. And then there's our original mat back as it was. So for this next bit, I'm going to do the green piece, which I'm hoping to fit on this piece here. I'm going to line up to the bottom of my mat. And while I'm there, I'm also going to do a pink bit for the flowers. So if you find that your offcuts are just a little bit too big, I'm just going to trim that down. Now I know I only need 2 little bits for this one, so I can just use a tiny offcut like so. That's what your background scan is there for. Okay. And the happy birthday is going to sit on our purple section. So I'm thinking, let's go for a slightly different colour. So in actual fact, we could use a little bit of our pattern paper. I'm going to wait and do that one. Let's concentrate on the flowers first, just because I want to make sure that I can get everything in. So I'm going to go OK, edit. So we're not going to cut our chick yet. We're not going to cut the front of our egg yet. And I'm not going to do my happy birthday yet. Okay, and we've already done our base piece, so we don't need that one anymore. So now we have 3 pieces here, so you have 2 little flowers that are going to layer up on top of our green piece, which we've put down towards the bottom. So I'll go OK and do a background scan so that I can line my little flowers up on the pink. Okay, so there's our scan in place. Okay, so I'm going to put my little flowers on this little tiny bit down here because there's plenty of room for them, and then I can always use that bit for my happy birthday if I want to. I have my green bit down here and it's well within the bounds, so that's all okay. So I'm going to go OK, that's cut, and off it goes. So they're similar types of card anyway, so I haven't got to worry about the fact that it's going between 2 different media. So if you're doing something like this where you are using lots of offcuts, try not to have like paper and card on the mat at the same time. With the CM it's a bit easier because you can use your blade depth to control what it cuts. So on your CM, if you are using lots of different offcuts of different thicknesses, what you would do is cut once using the settings for the thinnest material, then remove that pattern that's on the thinnest material, reset your blade depth and go again, and so on and so forth, depending on how many different thicknesses you have on your mat. So with regards to the score lines, they're set up for actually having this as a standalone 3D element. So in other words, it's going to literally always be in that 3D format. If you want it to fold flat to go in an envelope, you will have to do a little bit of tweaking on your tabs. So those of you that didn't have a go with the Armoire project because you weren't too confident with doing the actual file creation, the file is now up for sale on Buy Me a Coffee. Okay, there we go. There we go. And off with the green waste. And again, put that to one side because you never know when you might want to create an additional layer to reinforce things. So especially here where we've got this little leaf. These are quite fine stems, so you might want to create a additional panel using that same shape and then just chop off the 2 tabs just so that you're reinforcing this bit here. Especially if you're going to give it to, dare I say, teenagers. I won't give it to young children, no. Okay. And then we're going to take our 2 flowers off on that too. And I'm going to stick those straight onto this piece so I don't lose them, because there's nothing worse than cutting all these little pieces and then losing one. So let's move you back there. And we're not doing too bad for time. So these sit slightly inside our green background. So if I hold that a bit closer for you, so you can see you have like a little offset around the outside. And same with that one. Okay, so let that piece dry. We're going to go back to our scan and cut, go OK, reset, retrieve, back to the USB, down to our Easter folder. Okay. Now we still have these top elements to do. So first of all, let's get rid of these bottom elements. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my pattern paper that I want to use for my egg. And I'm going to leave the chick till last. And the happy birthday. Happy birthday? Oh dear. Yeah. Sentiment next, that's what I mean. Okay, I'm going to pop my pink card next to it so it looks like that. Okay. So let me just move that across slightly so you can see. So just there. Okay, and that'll lift up. There we go. So, because we have those multiple pieces on the mat, just going to do a quick scan, position everything, and then we can cut.